spread some education amongst my people, and I'm going to forewarn you that the information I'm going to share with you can be disturbing to some, it can be angering to some, it may be hard to stomach, but we're going to talk about it because a place where people waste a lot of money is on funerals. I don't ever really jump when people holler funeral. The reason for that is I spent a significant part of my life working as a family service counselor in a funeral home. I have seen every aspect of the funeral business. I know it like the back of my hand. Okay, from scraping up your brains off the street, putting them in a bag, taking you to the coroner. Once the coroner give me the call, I can come pick you up. I come pick you up, clean you up, call my man in to embalm you. I dress you up, put you in the casket. Service. To the cemetery we go. Burial, covered, flowers, hug your mama. That was my job. Now, let me tell you something. I was trained specifically to find out how much money you had to spend and to spend it all for you because I collected a 30% commission. So, if you had $20,000 funeral policy, insurance policy, it was my job to try to get you to spend $20,000. Okay? So if they taught me to do this, then I'm thinking they taught everybody to do the shit. Now, I had a hard time with this after I had made some money because I say, man, this lady's husband just died, and I just spent $15,000 on this funeral, and she can't pay her mortgage next month. See, because that's what insurance is for, to help the surviving members keep on going after that family member is gone. Now, with GoFundMe, that's different because that's not insurance. That's asking for help. But the bottom line to this situation is, y'all, funerals are a waste of money. Hear me and hear me well. There's no such thing as an airtight casket. I have put people in the ground. A year later, the family's moving to another state. They want to take that family member with them. I make it a point to tell them they cannot be present when we exhume the body. The reason for that is because that airtight casket that I sold you wasn't really airtight. And it's actually filled with water at this point. And your loved one is in there floating around in water, deceased as can be. Okay? Do we steal jewelry? No. The jewelry will be in there floating too, or if it done came off the bones. But it gets real fucked up underground. And I'm in Las Vegas, Nevada. We barely get any rain. So if caskets are filled with water in Nevada, then imagine how much water they got in Georgia or New Orleans. I'm telling you, funerals are a waste of money. Dead is dead. And you can do a decent homegoing if you know what you're doing and you're not dealing with shady people for $5,000 or less, depending on how overdramatic you're being. Because people in the funeral business are taught to take advantage of your emotions with a very, very plain look on our face, something like this. Yes, ma'am, I understand. It's going to be all right. Is that going to be credit or cash? I did this every goddamn day. I didn't care if it was your baby or your grandmama. My job was to get paid. So understand this. When you're dealing with funeral home people, okay? It's about that money. It's about that money. It's about that money. And these people collect 30% commissions off of your emotions. I was very good at this. I didn't care who it was, who died, what. I had to get paid. It's a very cold-hearted man's hustle. You know what I'm saying? So just understand when somebody get to hollering and screaming about a funeral, tell them, don't spend all that goddamn money to put in a hole in the ground. And I'm done. You do what you want to do with that information. My family know what to do with me. Peace.
My man talking about that upper room. The upper room. But do you hear me? Do you hear that man confessing, recognizing that his conscience has had enough? And I told you in previous episodes, people with empathy can only go so long of taking advantage of people, hurting them, ruining their lives. And this young man, shout out to him. Shout out to that young brother for coming to the realization, I can't do this no more. They have to reconcile that in their spirit. Some people call it whistleblowing. Some people call it snitching. Whatever you call it, he's got to do the right thing. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the JW Free Podcast. My name is James. I am your host, and I hope you appreciated one of the most iconic scenes from the movie Life with Eddie Murphy and Martin Lawrence. One of the most iconic scenes among people who've seen it, and it is absolutely hilarious. But let's get into the topic for today. I told you guys in episode 1, one of the things I'm going to be doing is asking you, what types of personalities is comprised of the governing body where they can knowingly, that is the key word, knowingly promote a product that hurts, kills, maims, destroys, and murders. Those are not exaggerations. That is not hyperbole for my educated folk. Who are they? And I told you, only toxic personalities can do that long term. Now, granted, maybe some of these guys just haven't come to their realization yet. Like Brother Ray Franz, may Jehovah rest him in peace. That brother came out and told everything because his conscience wouldn't allow him to continue to murder people's spirit and their bodies with their no blood policy. That young man told you that business is for the cold-hearted. And he tried it, and he had some success. But again, he had to give it up. He told you, hey, man, I just took $15,000 from this lady. How is she going to pay her mortgage next month? He said it's always about the money, about the money, about the money. And the governing body is no different because it's about the money for them. They're not breaking your spirit, breaking up your families, just because they have nothing better to do. Negativity and preaching the end of the world gets you paid. I heard a pastor say this. You get paid doing this and keeping you in bondage. That young man also told you that somebody taught him that if they have $20,000 to spend, it is his job to spend $20,000. That means when you're teaching somebody the ropes, it means there's a system in place. That also means that for each new governing body member, they had to be taught the system. Somebody had to sit down and explain exactly how it works in order for them to sell their death message to you. If you ain't ready for me to start preaching today, go on and hit the stop button. Go on and do that so I can continue talking to people who need to hear it. I told y'all last week, we in the age of Aquarius. It's all coming out. All the information coming out. The Jehovah's Witness organization is a system in place. Anything successful in business, it is because there is a system in place that was researched, tried, and tested first before they gave it to you. When you go to McDonald's, for those of you who work at McDonald's, there is a system in place. So all they have to do, if I quit McDonald's today, if I had a job there, if I quit today, they can replace me tomorrow because there is a system in place. And it doesn't matter if you don't like what I'm saying. There is a system in place for the Jehovah's Witness organization to rewire your system for fear, for lack, for hurt, deception, and pain. That is all you are seeing on the internet. There is nobody, truthfully, no matter how many people you see from the Jehovah's Witness organization pretending to be happy, they are absolutely miserable. And they can't prove any of their happiness. They don't have anything to show for it. But those of us who are on the other side saying, hey, these terrible things happen, we're giving you all the proof in the world from our experiences. We're giving it to you from professionals. Stuff you can see with your own eyes. There is a system in place to break your spirit within the Jehovah's Witness organization. And they're teaching it to each other so they can teach it to you. And again, I'm going to harp on this money thing. That young man told you it's about the money, it's about the money, it's about the money. Have you ever asked yourself, current Jehovah's Witnesses, where this is a $1 billion organization, who is pocketing this money? Because I promise you that that $1 billion isn't just sitting in an account gaining interest. I'm sure they have some of it in there, but not all of it, whose pockets are being lined with this money. Now, it doesn't take a genius to figure out the people who are running the organization are always the people getting the money. The governing body is getting the money. Why is this a problem? It's a problem because they told you and me and those of previous generations before us, financial success is bad. You cannot inherit the kingdom of God. Okay, well, cool. We'll make sure that goes for everybody, Mr. Governing Body, Mr. Lett, Mr. Jackson, Mr. Morris, and the rest of them busters. That go for you too. Go ahead and dump that money off to the people who need it so that you can make into the new system, because a rich man cannot. Do you honestly believe these dudes are not taking part of that money? Whenever there's a system created, it is because it is generating money for the people or person that created the system. Ooh, I'm preaching right now. And it's not even Sunday, it's Wednesday. I'm going to say it one more time. Otra vez for my Latino brothers and sisters. If there is a system in place, it is because that system is generating money for the people that created the system. Maybe that's why Tony Tight Pants Morris can comfortably buy $800 worth of liquor. Oh, you didn't know that, current Jehovah's Witnesses? I'm sorry, you pretending like you didn't know that? You pretending like you didn't know we caught him? Can you imagine, out of all the stores in the world to go to, one of the apostates, one of the former Jehovah's Witnesses happened to be there? What's that scripture about Jehovah frustrating their plans? Yeah. And the other question is, who is he buying all this liquor for? Matter of fact, when's the last time you bought, I'm not even going to say $800, when's the last time you bought $100 in liquor for your party? I myself, in the last 20 years, I've never spent more than $40, if that, on liquor. And that's for the party. When I was drinking, who was he buying this for? They've already told you, JT and Lady C, about the bathtub full of liquor over at the Jehovah's Witness headquarters in New York, kegs and whatnot. They already told you. We ain't lying to you. We over that. I don't even feel like I need to put the link in the description for you, but I gotta do it. We've been putting you up on so much game, so much truth about your organization. Where they get all this money from to buy $800 worth of liquor? Have you guys even figured out where these dudes live? What their houses look like? I know they're not living on campus. If they are, God bless them. But, when you got people with money, they got more than one spot. They got more than one stash spot. So where these people living at? One of you super sleuths, go out there and figure that out. What kind of house they got? This is a three bedroom, 1.5 bath? Or a 6-7 bedroom and 4 baths? Where they live at? How they get this money? Where is the money? Some of it's offshore. We know they're hiding it. But where's the rest? Why are they giving talks with Rolexes? I ain't never seen at my congregation when I was going nobody with a Rolex. Hell, I don't even think I've seen a real one in real life. And the governing body members got a Rolex? They got a Rolly? Oyster Perpetual? Patek? You know what I'm talking about? Where they getting this money from? What they doing with it? And if they got it, guess where they got it from, current Jehovah's Witnesses? All your hard work, all your sacrifice, the home from older sister so-and-so that she donated to the governing body, that's where they got that Rolex from. They didn't take that money and build you a new Kingdom Hall. They've been selling them Kingdom Halls for 20 years. I'm surprised they haven't run out of stock. But they took that money and got a brand new Rolly. They ready for the next rap video. Brother so-and-so. Brother, leave it in Jehovah's hands. You still don't get it yet? I got to keep doing this. I got to keep taking my Tuesdays and Wednesdays to prepare you for this message. You going to still pretend like you don't get it? We ain't going